Oh, welcome to another live watch-along here on the Coastwood Football YouTube channel. Tonight, it is the Asian Champions League 2 competition kicking off for Sydney FC, and an exciting occasion tonight because Douglas Costa, the Brazilian winger, one of the star signings in the A-League this season, is making his first appearance for Sydney FC tonight. Very excited to see how Douglas Costa performs for Sydney tonight. Of course, we are all excited, regardless of who you support in the A-League. I think we're all pretty hyped about Douglas Costa coming to the A-League. This is a guy who's played with some of the biggest clubs on the planet. He's won trophies, some of the biggest trophies in the world as well. And he's starting, we'd expect, on that left-hand side for Sydney FC. We'll keep an eye on how exactly Sydney play in this match. But hello to everyone in the live chat. Braddy's here, Gaming Bean, A-League Edits. Almost clutches in the chat. Hello to Butter as well over in New Zealand. Adam says, let's go Sydney. Griddle it on at halftime. Yes, Intellectual will definitely be playing halftime Griddle for sure. It's turned into a bit of a regular halftime entertainment, if you like, the Griddle. So we'll definitely be jumping on the Griddle at halftime. But this game is set to kick off. Sydney FC returning to Asian club competitions after a couple of years away. Winners of the Australia Cup last year. Of course, playing at Jubilee Stadium in Kogarah tonight. A stadium that they played a few seasons at while Allianz Stadium was being rebuilt. And here we go. Set for kickoff. Looks like Douglas Costa is over on that left-hand side. The game is underway. You can watch the match on 10 Play if you're in Australia. 10 Play. 10 Play. It can sometimes... we often get the questions in the chat. And I don't blame you because it can be tricky to track sometimes. We were live 48 hours ago. We were live 2 days ago for the Mariners Asian Champions League Elite game. Those games are only on Paramount Plus. Whereas the Asian Champions League 2 games, well, they're only on 10 Play. Actually, it might be on Paramount Plus. I actually don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's just on 10 Play. As Joe Lolly's looking to spring away here for Sydney early on. Great to see Joe Lolly back from injury, of course. We remember in that elimination final match at the end of last season against MacArthur, where Joe Lilly scored a stunning long-range goal. While scoring that goal, he also injured, I believe it was his hamstring, wasn't it? Hamstring injury for Joe Lolly. And he's back. This is his first match. Obviously, first match for a lot of these players. And, well, that's interesting. Having a look at Sydney FC's backline here, there might be a bit of a change around in the back four. Joel King possibly playing at centre back with Jordan Courtney Perkins playing out wide at left back. Haley Get It says, Yo, Coast, I've been waiting all day for the live stream. Costa should make a massive impact. Also, Alex Popovich is starting, so let's see how he goes. Is he? Is he starting? He was named on the bench initially. I mean, we'll see if there's been any changes from that. Intellectual says, I'm here for the game of Griddle with 2 halves of football on the side. Yeah, we love the Griddle. That does look like Joel King playing at centre-back. We'll see if that's going to be the setup going forward. Ufuk Talay has been tweaking sort of that back line a little bit. He was tweaking it a bit towards the end of last season. Jordan Courtney Perkins at times was playing it as a left winger for Sydney FC. A player who we're used to seeing playing in a centre-back role. But I tell you what, that does appear to be Courtney Perkins over at left-back. Joel King in an unfamiliar role at centre-back. Very fascinating indeed. How are our predictions, though? I jumped in the chat a bit earlier to ask for some of your predictions. Feel free to throw your score predictions for this game. Eastern SC, the opposition tonight for Sydney FC. From Hong Kong. Winners of the Hong Kong FA Cup earlier this year. Marcus is backing his Sky Blues to get up 2-0. Leanne's back on the upset. 1-0 to Eastern. Certainly would be an upset. Brady, scrolling up earlier in the chat, Brady said 3-2 to Sydney. They get it, says 3-1 to Sydney a little bit earlier on as well. Boston says 2-1 to Sydney. Almost clutch, good to see you here as well. 2-1 to Eastern in my dreams. Little chance there for Patrick Klimala, another one of these new players tonight for Sydney FC. Of course, a lot of the focus is obviously going to be on Douglas Costa playing his first game for Sydney FC tonight. But Patrick Klimala, Polish striker, making his first competitive appearance for Sydney FC, as is Leo Senna in defensive midfield. And Sydney FC from the corner. Possible penalty shout there. Courtney Perkins was bundled over. Costa on the ball. Here he is. Linking up with Caceres. Waheem. Anas Waheem, another one of these new signings for Sydney FC, does well to keep the ball in play. Goalkeeper's going to end up with it. Anas Waheem as well. Moroccan attacking midfielder, made his debut for the Sky Blues in the Australia Cup round of 32. Alligators asks, is Klimala or Kaczarski better? Well, Klimala's just got a better, obviously much more experience playing at the top level. But Jaden Kaczarski, I mean, he's one of the top youngsters in the A-League. You probably have to say, hey. Jaden Kaczarski on the bench tonight as well for Sydney FC. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him come off the bench and have an impact in this game. Leo Senna getting a touch of the ball as well. Brazilian defensive midfielder. Would expect him to sort of fill that Luke Bratton role. Now, this is interesting as well, just having a look at the way Sky Blues are sort of setting up here, and looks like Joe Lolly is floating around a little bit. Douglas Costa coming in off the right. Joe Lolly now over on the right-hand side. So this was sort of one of the discussion points when Douglas Costa signed for the club, being sort of a left-footed player, isn't he? A lot of time spent playing on the right wing. Sydney FC have probably one of the best right wingers in the A-League already, and Joe Lolly. Question marks in terms of where does Douglas Costa fit into this team? Obviously, you got to put him somewhere. He's a class player. But it might be a situation for Sydney FC where Lolly and Costa are sort of swapping wings throughout the match. Fortnite, hello, mate. Didn't even know you were streaming tonight. Lucky I checked. Well, lucky, glad you're here. Glad you're here, Fortnite. Thanks for jumping in. Brady says, come on, Sydney FC. The Sky Blues. We often get a lot of our Sky Blues fans here in the live streams, which is always great to see. Do you have a Mariners members hat this year? I don't know if they've sent them out yet. I don't know. Usually with the members gear, at least for Mariners, I don't know about other teams, but usually for members gear, on occasion they do send them. They do send them in the mail. But in the past as well, I do recall they usually give you like a voucher, and then you have to go like collect it in one of the games. AFC Brady, did you just change your YouTube icon? That looks like the Sydney FC logo. There you go. Represent. Six minutes in. Sydney FC dominating possession at the moment. You can see with Hong Kong side Eastern SC here, winners of the Hong Kong FA Cup earlier this year, setting up in a defensive low block. The expectation tonight has to be for Sydney FC to win as well. I mean, for the Sky Blues, and well, for any A-League team now playing in the second tier of Asian club football, the Asian Champions League 2, after seeing what Mariners did last year, Sydney FC are going to be backing themselves to have a deep run in this tournament. And they've got the team to do it. You look at the squad, dude. You look at their starting 11 tonight for Sydney FC, and this is, I mean, arguably their full strength starting 11. Obviously, no Redmayne tonight. He's out with concussion. Here's Caceres shooting. Anthony Caceres, keeper spills it. The clearance. And Easton will try to break down the right. Joel King covering. Brady's back in a 2-0 win for Sydney FC. Intellectual asks, thoughts on Elsie? Late signing for the Reds. Yeah, not particularly surprising considering he's been sort of rumoured for a little while now. And it's a signing that makes a lot of sense. In a lot of my videos lately, when I have spoken about Adelaide United, one of the points that does come up is the fact that they need some more defenders. And Jordan Elsey, I think, was an obvious choice. A guy who's been at the club before. Obviously, wasn't contracted heading into this new season. Was it Perth Glory last year or the year before? So look, it's a decent pickup. It's nothing amazing, but he's a solid A-League level defender. And he's pretty well experienced now, isn't he, Jordan Elsey? Whether he even comes in as a starting centre back, that's the thing. I mean, Isaias has been playing in a central defensive role for Adelaide in the Australia Cup, and that's been working out all right. Intellectual says Elsey will strengthen the Reds' defence. And they're just going to try and hope they can get Bart Vreens ready for the A-League season. He hasn't featured yet in their Australia Cup run, of course. Pardon me. Adelaide United taking on Melbourne Victory this coming weekend in the Australia Cup semi-finals, which I can tell you right now, we're going to be doing watch-alongs for those semi-finals coming up this weekend as well. Melbourne Victory, Adelaide this Saturday night. And then Sunday night, South Melbourne, Macarthur FC. Plenty of football on this week. Mariners in Sydney in action in Asian club competitions. Australia Cup semi-finals this weekend. And then there's not much on after that for the next couple of weeks, as it's sort of the quiet before the storm, if you like, as we approach the Australia Cup final in a couple of weeks' time, and then the A-League season in about a month's time now. As Douglas Costa's over on the right, cutting in. Nice play. Pass just went astray, but the way he got around the defender there was nice. Costa again on the ball. Opts to go backwards. You can see the way Sydney FC are committing a lot of numbers forward here. Looks like Joe Lolly is certainly floating around, as well as Anas Wahim. As Caceres is in behind. Here's Sydney. Crucial block at the back. Leo Senna's there. Shot coming in, another block. Dude, look at the number of shirts that Eastern SC have in front of their goal right now. Defending desperately. Little push, maybe. Didn't look like there was much in it, but Anas Wahim gives away the foul. Woo! Intellectual asks, do you see MacArthur's new home kit? It's pretty good. Yeah, I really like it. I saw a lot of people online, I was just reading comments and stuff, weren't a fan of it. I think it's great. I think, look, it's always interesting when you go for like a unique design. And for MacArthur's kit, look, it's similar to last season in the way that it's got the black and white stripes. But the sort of the Thunderbolt design of the stripes, I think it's great. Yeah, sometimes the experimental designs can go wrong. It's a risk sometimes, but I think it worked out for MacArthur this year. I really, really dig their new kit. I do. We've got plenty of kits out now as well. Sydney FC, are they wearing their new kit tonight? I assume they are. This looks like their new kit. I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, that's a good point. The fact that didn't even realize if it was their new kit. They don't really change their kit too drastically, Sydney FC. I mean, not that they would want to. It's their iconic sky blue, and it's pretty much always the sky blue top and socks and the navy blue shorts. And I don't think they'll ever change that. In some of the Asian Champions League. Oh, here's a chance. Easton in behind here. Oh, here's a huge chance. Ball across to the middle. Courtney Perkins with the block, and it's just over the bar. Well, Eastern SC on the counter-attack. Dangerous. Ailey Geddett says he flunked a shot. Well, I think it was, yeah, I mean, they needed to take it first time too, because the Sydney defenders were able to get back there. They were able to get back in cover. Good opening. First opening of the game, really, for the away team. And Sydney will have to defend this corner here. Sky Blues dominating the early passages of this match, but a corner to defend is whipped in towards the far post. Headed back, and Sky Blue should come away with this one. No, still forward. How's Costa going? Asks Toby. Couple moments so far. He's looking pretty good. Very bright on the ball. A couple times he's beaten some defenders very swiftly. The lineup graphic that we have here, sort of a guide for what we're seeing here for Sydney FC, but it is looking a little bit different. Jordan, Courtney Perkins. Oh, it's Klamala almost getting his head to that in front of goal. Sales out of play. Courtney Perkins maybe shifting over to a left back position tonight. Joel King looks like he's playing more so as a centre back. Douglas Costa has spent a lot of time on the right-hand side. Joe Lolly sort of swapping flanks at times. Leanne? Oh, that's a big question from Leanne. Do you think it'll be Ryan Grant's last year at Sydney? I think the vibe that I get from Ryan Grant is that he's a guy who probably wants to play for as long as he possibly can. And how old is Ryan Grant now? Can someone do a quick Google search for us? How old is Ryan Grant? I would guess he's 30, maybe 32? Maybe 32, Ryan Grant? I reckon he's still got a few more years left in him. He's still a great player. He gets through a lot of work. 33, says Marcus. There we go. 33. Yeah, I think he's still got a few more years for sure. Captain of the side now, of course, Sydney FC, with the departure of Luke Bratton. A pretty obvious appointment. I think it was either going to be him or even Andrew Redmayne. Of course, if you're just tuning in, no Andrew Redmayne in goals tonight for Sydney FC. The former Socceroos out with concussion. Definitely is Sydney's new kit as well. You can tell from the collar. I think the main change to Sydney FC is like the collar is slightly different. But it's just another classic Sydney FC kit. Look at this high press here from Sydney. It's a signature element of Sydney FC's game. Joel Ollie's tripped up. Sort of a mid-range free kick for Sydney FC. Dude, I mean, you just look at this attack for Sydney and it's like, it's terrifying. Douglas Costa, Joe Lolly, Patrick Klamala up top. You got Anas Waheem. Sitting behind those guys, Leo Senna and Anthony Caceres playing a deeper role tonight for Sydney. A position he has played a bunch in the past. Speaking of that, Ailey, it's perfect timing. Can Caceres play centre mid? Isn't he more of a cam or up top? Definitely more of a cam. Definitely more of an attacking midfielder. Here's Costa. Tries to have a shot from long range. That's straight into the wall. Yeah, definitely more of an attacking midfielder. Here he is on the ball. Edge of the box. Out wide to the left is Matthews. It's out for a goal kick. He has played defensive midfield. I mean, I remember when he was at Mariners, my team, Central Coast Mariners, many years ago now, Anthony Caceres. He spent some time as a more deep-lying midfielder as well. Probably not his favoured position. I imagine he's more comfortable in an attacking role. At times, he has played out wide as well, whether it's on the right or the left. But the thing with Sydney FC now is that, especially with the departure of Luke Bratton and you know, with Anas Waheem arriving, and they've got so many attacking players, Max Burgess on the bench as well, who's more of an attacking player. Caceres might just have to just accept, you know, if he wants to start, he's going to have to play a little bit deeper alongside Leo Senna. Did you see Tottenham this morning? I didn't watch the game, but obviously I did see the result. An important result for Ange Postecoglou, that's for sure. Great to see you guys tuning in. This is our second live watch along of the week. We were live 2 days ago for Mariners, unfortunately, loss. 3-1 loss to Shandong Taishan in the Asian Champions League Elite. Can Sydney FC get off to a winning start here against Eastern SC? Two other teams in the group for Sydney. Sanfrecce Hiroshima. And the other team in the group, the name of that team has just escaped me. But Sky Blues, I think, Obviously, as we know, the top 2 teams go through from the group. I think the Sky Blues should comfortably be getting through from this group. I mean, the San Francisco Hiroshima game should be interesting, though. Probably won't be a walk in the park. Could be a tricky match. Kaya FC, Marcus, thanks for reminding me. Kaya FC. And of course, Kaya FC, coincidentally enough, a team that Sydney FC played in Asian Champions League qualification a couple in a playoff match a couple years ago at this very stadium too, if I remember correctly. I think they beat them 5-0. I think we did a watch along for that game too. If you scrolled back far enough on the live streams on the channel, we did a watch along for Sydney FC v Kaya FC. I think that might have been 2022 or 2021. Sky Blues back in Asian Champions League football. It is the Asian Champions League 2, formerly known as the AFC Cup. Of course, Central Coast Mariners winning it last year. Can Sydney FC replicate the feats of their Australian counterparts? Joe Lolly using the pace down the right. Dangerous one here. Ryan Grant's back heel. This is desperate defending, and that's probably a handball. It is. Desperate defending from Eastern SC, who 20 minutes into this game are clearly focused on defending, maintaining this clean sheet. How are we looking, says Vanessa? Pretty good so far. Sydney FC definitely the better of the 2 teams, but not too many clear-cut chances after 20 minutes. Possession definitely in the favour of Sydney, that's for sure. Alligator says, I wonder if Costa will show his Brazilian samba skills. Surely. Intellectual says, West Ham v Chelsea starts Saturday night, 9 p.m. I think just after Victory Adelaide game. Big Saturday night, hey, if you're a football fan. If you're watching a stream, you probably are. Patrick Lamala goes backwards. Caceres. Lolly. Space on the left. I mean, Lolly was just passing it to Costa, but Costa didn't see it coming. Lolly shot over the bar. Joe Lolly heavily involved already in this game. And again, just want to echo, I mean, this lineup that we have here, it's a real... That front 4 is well and truly shuffling around. We saw both Costa and Lolly towards the left-hand side of the field there. It's interesting, actually, that, again, Jordan Courtney Perkins being utilised. When they're in possession, Sydney, Courtney Perkins is getting right up the left-hand side. Short corner for Costa, who swings in a cross. It's a bit too low. Free kick, Sydney. Poor Robbie Max's Marcus. I love that intellectual, and that's so random, but I love it. What's your drink tonight? Personally, I've just got water. I'm drinking Farmers Union iced coffee. Wow, nice. Not an iced coffee guy personally. Don't mind a chalky milk, that's for sure. All right. So long range, sort of a long range free kick here for Sydney FC. Probably too far to shoot, but Douglas Costa might be keen to have a go here. Costa swings it out wide to Lolly, who's one-on-one. Swings in a ball deep towards Courtney Perkins. In fact, it was Ryan Grant, and it's cleared away. Sydney FC, they're just like applying the pressure. Easton just can't break out. Easton had that one opportunity with that corner and that counter-attack. But aside from that, the 22 minutes has been all sky blue. But there hasn't really been that many shots, has there? I don't know if Easton's keeper has made a save to this point. There's been a lot of really nice play in the final third. But the problem is Easton look like they're playing sort of like a 5-4-1, you know. Very, very defensive. Costa from the left, swinging it in. As mentioned, we're seeing these wingers swap sides. Lolly now over on the right, Costa on the left. That might be the way for Sydney, where both players sort of have a free roll coming in from their respective flanks. We should also mention as well, Harrison Devonish-Mears, another one of these players making their Sydney FC debut tonight. Starting in goals, Devonish-Mears, another off-season signing. A-League asks, have you bought any tickets yet to any A-League games? Not aside from, obviously, Mariners games I'll be getting to. I haven't grabbed anything for away days yet. Let me know in the chat, who's planning any away days? Who's planning any away days? Thanks for that as well in the chat. It's answering Ashton. That's right. Ashton, you can watch on 10 Play. 10 Play. Which means it's free to watch if you're in Australia, this match. Free to watch. All of Sydney FC's games will be on 10 Play, as far as I'm aware. Sydney FC's game in this competition, I should clarify. Sydney FC's matches in the Asian Champions League 2. All on 10 Play. Costa, nice ball through for Courtney Perkins. Cross is well defended. It's going to be a corner. All right. Sky Blues, another set-piece opportunity. Costa and Waheem are both there for it. What can come from this? Bit of a conversation between the two players. Prepared to... you don't often see that. Two players... I mean, is that even necessary? You never see that. The corner didn't work out for Sydney. Usually, like on a free kick, you might have two takers there. Which is, a legitimate thing to do. But for that corner there, both Costa and Waheem were there offering, Costa was there to offer the left foot, Waheem with the right foot option. Seemed pretty unnecessary. 25 minutes into this game down in Kogarah. Sydney FC, first match in the Asian Champions League 2. Second tier of Asian club competitions, formerly known as the AFC Cup. Pressure here. Sydney FC trying to play out from the back. And that's well done. Easton was suddenly closing in there, and that's surely a foul on Leo Senna. Play on. And that's a great switch of play as well. Courtney Perkins touches a little bit heavy. Fair challenge. Good block from Courtney Perkins. So Douglas Costa's been pretty involved. I mean, just watching him so far, he's really keen to get himself on the ball. Right now, getting himself involved in the build-up play. Switch for Grant. His touch is a little heavy, and Easton can come away on the counter-attack. Oh, that's a good through ball here. Easton SC might be in behind again. Here come the Hong Kong team. The shot. Well, that's the first shot on target of the match for Easton SC. Great opportunity too. Save, says A-League edits. Great opportunity. Great through ball too. To release the counter-attack down the right-hand side. And that's the danger of sending Courtney Perkins so far up the pitch. I mean, Courtney Perkins was basically at the corner. The opposite corner of the pitch. On the attack. Leaving that left-back area completely vacant. Costa's ball in. Ooh, almost for Klamala. That's a crucial clearance. This is some really solid defending at the moment from Eastern SC. They are putting their bodies on the line to maintain this clean sheet. 27 minutes in. Where's Redmayne? Asked Chuckmeat. Redmayne is out with concussion tonight. Hopefully he's all good. Courtney Perkins. Cross deflected straight to the hands of the keeper. That was a good save as well from Devonish-Mears a moment ago. They're showing the replay of that counter-attack. A great pace down the right. Joel King was closing, but the shot came in. Devonish-Mears down to his right. Important save for the goalkeeper. Sydney FC's number 2 keeper today. This season, I should say. Nick, how many years have you been a Mariners member? 10th year with Sydney for me. My first year, I think, was 2007. 07, 08. I think that was my first year. So, how many years has it been since then? 17? 17, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. That would have been the third season, I think, wouldn't it? 07, 08. Back when Mariners lost the grand final. Oh, Eastern are in again here. That shot just over the bar. Well, Sydney FC are conceding some serious opportunities here. A long ball. And Joel King has completely stuffed up there with that header. It fell to the path of Eastern SC's striker, whose chip over Devonish Mears almost went to the back of the net. Almost. Wow. Couple opportunities here for Eastern. They're looking to get forward again here. After absorbing so much pressure in the opening half an hour, all of a sudden, the team from Hong Kong are really coming for it now. I mean, that's why maybe you don't play someone like that. It's a mistake there from Joel King in the center of defense. As we're going to get the first yellow card of the game here for a Eastern SC player. Joel King in center defense there, not usually used to those sorts of situations in the middle of that back line, having to deal with an important header. I just didn't get it right. It's I can't say I've ever seen Joel King play at centre back in my time watching him for Sydney FC and the Socceroos over the years. He's always been a left back from what I've seen. Douglas Costa on the ball down the right. He's looked good so far. Half an hour into his Sydney FC debut. That's a great pass back for Lolly, who he was going to shoot, but he's still going here, Lolly. The shot blocked. Half an hour in, 0-0. Sky Blues dominating things, but Eastern with a couple great opportunities in the last few minutes. Thanks everyone for tuning in for tonight's live watch-along. Got a couple more coming up this weekend. Make sure to hit the like button to support. You can also consider sending through a super chat to support the channel. Ryan Grant on the attack here, heading it wide and nowhere near a teammate. We put out a new video today as well, our Australia Cup semi-final preview and predictions. If you want to know everything heading into this weekend's semi-finals, feel free to check out that video afterwards. Melbourne Victory playing Adelaide United. South Melbourne hosting MacArthur SC in the semi-finals this weekend. Hello to Troy. Good to see you here. Troy says, good to see Costa starting. Yeah, man. Very exciting, and he's looked good so far. Douglas Costa. He's been floating around quite a lot. He's over on the right-hand side. We've seen him on the left at times as well. It's 4-2-3-1 setup for Sydney FC. Looking very strong. You look at the personnel they have on the pitch. I haven't really had the clear-cut opportunities yet. That's the only thing that's lacking from them. They've been good. Very good sort of passing play, build-up play through midfield. What can they do here? Leo Senna on the ball. To Costa. Douglas Costa with a couple defenders in front of him. Oh, that's a great pass for Ryan Grant in behind. The cutback for Anas Waheem. And that is 1-0 to Sydney FC. Douglas Costa, the orchestrator of the move. And the Sky Blues have their first goal of the Asian Champions League 2. A delightful team goal from Sydney FC. And Anas Waheem scores for the Sky Blues. The Cove is celebrating. Delightful goal. Get in, says Chuck, mate. Goal, says Leanne and Ailey Geddits. Come on, says Marcus. What a team goal, says Ailey Geddits. Marcus says deserved. I mean, they've been controlling this game, and Anas Waheem was able to walk that ball in. How about that through ball, though, from Douglas Costa? He's looked really, really bright in this opening half an hour. And that perfectly weighted through ball for Ryan Grant, who was able to cut it back for Anas Waheem. Finally, the Sky Blues have dismantled Eastern here. Very, very strong defensive performance from the Hong Kong club. Troy says Costa's perfect through ball. Class pass from Costa, says 92. Joseph says nice. Again, it says that was set up by Douglas Costa. Fantastic. He's been very good. He's been very, very good so far. Been very involved in the build-up play. Over on the left-hand side, once again, now Costa. As Sky Blues finally have the advantage. That's what they were chasing in the early stages of this game. Right from kickoff, the intention was clear. They were going for this match. At home here, Sydney FC certainly going to have the expectation to win at least all of their home games in this group stage. Of course, the three other opponents in the group, home and away legs, home and away ties. Oh, they're in again here. Joe Lolly, good save from the keeper. Another through ball. Was that Costa again with a through ball? It may have been. It may have been. Costa. Caceres. Passes offline, but Waheem gets to it. Another chance here for Sydney. Waheem! Was it a shot? Was it a cross? Who knows? Patrick Klamala was at the far post, but it missed everyone. That's another great chance, though, from Anas Waheem. He really should have shot there. He should have gone for goal himself. Arslan on the bench for Sanfrecce tonight. Still 0-0 in Kaya versus Sanfrecce. Thank you for that score update, Marcus. If you guys are keeping an eye on the other game, feel free to give us some updates in the live chat. Obviously, all the focus here is on the Sydney FC match, but if you're keeping an eye on the other relevant action, let us know. Leanne says, come on, Easton. Edit says, goalkeeper is injured for Easton. Yeah, he's getting some treatment as we speak. Looks like could be a potential ankle issue. Icing the ankle area. As some of the Sydney players are getting a bit of a fresh drink here. Sydney FC leading 1-0 as we are about 10 minutes away from half-time. Having a look at the stats so far. Possession certainly favouring Sydney FC. 75% possession for the Sky Blues. 75%. Shot stats. 9 shots for Sydney, 3 for Eastern. Some of those chances for Eastern are very, very good chances. Yes, we'll definitely be playing Griddle at halftime, that's for sure. Almost Clutch says, my hate watch is proving unsuccessful tonight. Too good, aren't they, Sydney FC? Too good. Chuck Meat says, our attack looks very promising, but I think we could be exposed this season defensively. Joe Lolly on that attack for Sydney. Oh, the cross in was great, but that defensive header was even better. Joel King on the left. Forward pass is a smart one to find Caceres. Sky Blues committing numbers forward. Oh, into the feet of Klamala, who hasn't seen much of the ball. Rolls behind for a corner. Patrick Klamala, formerly of Celtic, formerly of New York Red Bulls. Polish striker coming to the A-League here, looking to have an impact. As Joe Lolly, that's a nice little piece of play. A classic Joe Lolly move there. The 1-2 and the strike off the left foot. Straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Hello, Nick M in the chat. Nick says, I reckon Sydney Victory and Mariners will all be up there this season. Yeah, I'd agree. Sydney Victory definitely looking strong, that's for sure. And Wanderers, as much as I hate to say it, says Nick. Alligators asks, is Sydney already behind again? We'll come back to that question. Patrick Klamala right in front of goal. Great opportunity there. Sydney are hunting their second goal. Alligators asks, Lockie, will Auckland FC make it to the elimination finals? I think there's a serious chance. I think there's a serious chance. I think they've built a really good squad for their first season. 3 deadline day signings, 3 international players. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how Steve Corica goes, tying it all together. Of course, former Sydney FC head coach Steve Corica will be in charge of Auckland FC for their inaugural campaign. Klamala played with Fabio, says Marcus. There you go. To well, one current Sydney FC striker, one former, obviously Fabio Gomez was the striker for Sydney FC last season. Had a decent season. He was on loan, wasn't he, Fabio Gomez? Was only here for the one campaign. Patrick Lamala. We'll see how he can go at Sydney. Sydney have often, they've chased some... They often go for an international striker. Oh, that's a heavy challenge. Oh, no way. Referee's not interested. Leo Center just got wiped out. As Klamala's in the box with a chance. Bouncing around. Costa with the ball. That Costa shot's going to sail wide. But that challenge on Leo Senna. Referee didn't even think it was a foul. I'd love to see the replay. It looked like Leo Senna got completely crushed on the foot. Well, there was a little bit of contact. Maybe not as much as I thought. As they're showing the replay. Tell you what, not that much contact at all, actually. Not that much. I was fooled. I apologize, referee. I apologize. I thought there was way more contact there, but no. No, barely any contact, in fact. 3 debutants making their first appearance here for Sydney FC tonight. Patrick Lamala up top, Douglas Costa, who's been heavily involved tonight. Devon Ishmael is starting at goals for Sydney FC tonight. No Andrew Redmayne due to concussion. We should mention as well, we were talking a moment ago about Sydney FC and their defensive woes. We had a comment about that in the live chat. Alex Popovic is on the bench tonight for Sydney FC. New loan signing from Gwangju. Signed on loan until January, but Sydney FC do have the option to buy. Very good pickup for Sydney FC. Popovic was at Adelaide United, you may remember, a couple seasons ago. Very good young defender. Devon Ishmael does well to get out to that one. Just keeps it in the box as well. G'day, Cameron. Cameron asks, how's Costa looking? Really good so far. Really, really good. Had a big hand in Sydney FC's goal. Played a great through ball in behind for Ryan Grant to cut it back for Waheem, who scored. Jens with a question here. Who will win the A-League this season? For me, I think for the Premiership, the Championship is obviously so tricky to predict at the end of a final series. But for the Premiership, in terms of a team who could finish top, I think Sydney are a serious chance. And we're getting our first real good look at them tonight. I think if Sydney get all these star players gelling, there's a serious chance they finish top. I think Melbourne Victory are probably up there as favourites to finish top 2. So they're up there. To me, they're probably the 2 clearest favourites. I mean, I'd love to say my Central Coast Mariners again, but there's been a lot of key departures for the Mariners, so I'm not going to say that Mariners will necessarily be right up there again. I do think Mariners have enough to finish in finals once again, though. But for me, the 2 obvious teams to finish probably top 2, if I had to give you a pick right now, is probably Sydney and Victory. Arguably the 2 biggest teams in Australia as well. Cameron says, can't believe... yeah, that's right. Adelaide chose Jordan Elsey over Popovic. Well, I just wonder... Cameron, if it was a matter of... If Adelaide missed out on Popovic. If maybe they were going for Popovic and maybe Sydney just beat them to it. And they were like, oh, I guess we'll have to go for Jordan Elsey. You know what I mean? Nothing against Jordan Elsey, but... You'd probably rather Alex Popovic. He's younger, much more potential. Would probably say a better centre-back as well, to be fair. Joe Lolly with a bit of space. Forward for Costa down the left. Douglas Costa, nice move. Oh, and great cutback for Lolly. And it's blocked. Great play. I tell you what, the link-up play tonight from Joe Lolly and Douglas Costa. Even though they're technically, I guess, playing on opposite flanks, both have been drifting around all over the front third. And the way they've been linking up has been delightful and almost linked up for a goal there for Sydney FC. Joe Lolly and Douglas Costa, fantastic. Marcus says Brisbane a dark horse for me. Definitely one of the dark horses this season, but... Oh, Ryan Grant scored! Oh, it's in, number 2. Ryan Grant, well, that just seemed too easy. Off the corner. And the Sydney FC captain has made it 2 for Sydney. Corner swung in. And Ryan Grant, well, seemingly unchallenged at the far post. Let's have a look at the replay. Was it Costa again? It was. Douglas Costa with the delivery and Ryan Grant with the goal. Great assist from Douglas Costa. 2-0 to Sydney. How about that? Marcus says DC firing on all cylinders. Ryan Grant, I mean, that's way too easy for him. The Hong Kong team, Eastern SC here, will be disappointed with the defending there. And a minute before halftime, Sky Blues lead 2-0. Douglas Costa, again, heavily involved in the goal. This time with a direct assist there from the short corner. What a start here for Sydney FC in the Asian Champions League 2. And what a start for Douglas Costa in his Sydney FC career. Perfect start here. Ufuk Talay will be very happy with this so far from Sydney. Eastern looking to get on the attack here. Looking to get one back before the break. Haven't had too many chances. Edge of the box. Committing some numbers forward here. That shot from range. Ooh, the deflection was a tricky one, but Devonish Mears is behind it. Yes, that's right. It is the Douglas Costa, formerly of Bayern Munich, Juventus. Numerous appearances in the UEFA Champions League as well. Douglas Costa wearing number 11 for Sydney FC this season. Oh, that's a great question, Fortnite. Top 3 scorers this season, Lockie, in the A-League? In the A-League? Top 3 scorers. Well, looking at the Sydney FC side, Patrick Klimala could be up there. I think Patrick Klimala could be up there. He's got so many creative players around him. Is that half-time? Well, that's bizarre. It is half-time, I think. Even though we had 1 minute added on, after 30 seconds, the referee said that's enough. I think so. There's an Eastern player who's on the floor, who's not only taken his boot off, but taken his sock off and is showing his foot to the referee. Pleading his case of a potential foul there. Who knows? Anyway, is that half-time? No, we're still ticking on. Marcus says 1-0 to Sanfrecce. There you go. 2 other teams in this group playing as we speak. Sanfrecce Hiroshima of Japan playing Kaya FC of the Philippines. Well, they're showing the replay of that incident with Leo Senna, and that was definitely a stomp on the boot. Eastern SC player feeling a little bit hard done by that the decision didn't go their way. That should well take us to halftime as well. We're going to be playing Griddle at halftime, so make sure to stick around for that. Griddle, our A-League player guessing game. But a great start if you're a Sydney FC fan. Douglas Costa heavily involved. An assist for the second goal was the key orchestrator for the first goal as well, hey. Yeah, we're going back to that talking point in regards to the top 3 scorers. It's a tricky one, isn't it? I'll have to think about it. Sam says, how's it going, Lockie? Not long till the season begins. Can't wait. Getting excited, and I can't wait for that first F3 Derby. Yeah, the F3 Derby, the first one at Unite Round, which will be interesting. I'm curious to see how it goes. Joe Lolly with a cross, and he's back with it, and that shot sailed well over the bar. Surely that's halftime now. We are a couple minutes past the allotted 1 minute. Troy says, still can't believe Tacker got the golden boot when Perth finished last. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? He was fantastic for them last year, despite Perth picking up the wooden spoon, as it's half-time between Sydney FC and Eastern SC. 2-0. Douglas Costa looking very good so far for the Sky Blues. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about the Sky Blues? They've been playing very well. They've been dominating things, controlling possession. Took a little while to make the breakthrough, but once they did, They were able to get the second one not too long after. Easton with a couple chances there. But Douglas Costa and his Sydney FC teammates heading into the sheds at halftime here with the 2-goal advantage. Mark says halftime too easy. Sam says, I'm excited to see what the new Brazilian signing brings to the Jets. Hopefully some Brazilian flair like Pena did. Yes, Sam, very curious to see how Welisol Oliveira goes in the A-League. New attacking player at Newcastle Jets. Has spent most of his career playing in Brazil. And, I mean, especially with the departure of Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, Jets fans, you're going to be hoping that Welisol can provide the goals for the Jets, just like Apostolos Stamatolopoulos did last season. Vanessa says, I reckon it's going to be a 4 or 5-0 match at this rate. Could well be. Could well be if Sydney FC can keep this up in the second half. Yep, absolutely. Alligators asks, Lockie, did you go to the A-League final last season? Yes, I was at the grand final. Yes, of course. A crazy experience, a fantastic experience to win the A-League Championship in our own home stadium. Central Coast Mariners. Great time. Fantastic. Let's go back to that question. Sam, a moment ago in the chat, asked... was it Sam? No, excuse me. It was Fortnite. In the chat, asked top 3 scorers this season. Lockie. I mean, Adam Taggart surely has to be up there again. He just always knows how to find the back of the net. So I reckon Taggart will be up there. As I said earlier, I think Patrick Klimala is a genuine chance. I think Patrick Klimala could actually score a handful of goals this season, considering the creative players around him. And Nikos Virgos could be an interesting one as well. Virgos, this new Greek striker at Melbourne Victory, he's already scored 3 goals in the Cup in 2 games for Victory. So he might be one to watch as well. Yeah. Alligator says, I also went the entire game, the final. Melbourne was so loud, the Mariners were silent up until the last 30 minutes when Mariners secured the win. And I'm a Sydney FC fan. I went for Mariners. Chuck Meat says, looking pretty comfortable so far. I think the only way we could struggle this season is if we don't sharpen up defensively. But getting Popovic on loan. Yeah. Yeah, that was the crucial one for Sydney FC. Like they'd obviously made some interesting moves in the transfer window so far, and obviously Costa's the big one. Great attacking signings. You know, Klimala, Wahi, Costa, all sort of attacking signings. Leo Sona in midfield has been good so far. But that centre back position, especially with the departure of Gertrude Reich, they needed to bring someone in. And Alex Popovic, that's a great signing. Fantastic signing. So, like you say there, if Sydney FC can make sure they clean up defensively, because they have been a bit leaky last couple of seasons, especially at home. They've had some disappointing results. So if they can clean that up, like I said a bit earlier, I think they're a serious chance to be top 2. Marcus says, I think Popovic will sign permanently as well as Klimala. Yeah, I mean, with that, it's interesting that Popovic loan only goes till January, which is only, 3 or 4 months into the season. So I think the expectation is that Popovic would be secured permanently. Fortnite says, took tomorrow off work, pre-ordered EAFC 25 to play tonight at midnight. So keen. Love it, Fortnite. Yes. EAFC, I believe the early access drops tonight. I'm sure many of you guys are keen for that. Keen to see, check out the A-League teams in EAFC as well. Hello to Dylan in the chat. Dylan asks, do the Wanderers actually lift the title with Mata? It's a big question. I'm super positive about the signing, but as a Glory fan, I've been burnt out by Marquise. I don't blame you, Dylan, after what happened with Daniel Sturridge. Will Mata help Wanderers lift a title this season, lift a trophy? I'm not confident to say yes at the moment. I think Mata will probably have some sort of an impact on Wanderers. You'd hope so. Hopefully he stays fit and plays plenty of football. And if he does, they probably will have a great season, I reckon. I don't think there's enough to suggest that Wanderers could win a trophy this season. They totally could. Don't get me wrong. But compared to Sydney FC, I think Sydney, on paper at the moment, obviously it's tricky because there's so many new signings at both teams. I would, if the question was simply who do you think would win a trophy this season out of Sydney FC and Wanderers, I'd probably say Sydney FC. Well, obviously they just have a better track record of winning trophies than the most successful team in A-League history. And Western Sydney Wanderers, I mean, they haven't won a trophy in 10 years since the Asian Champions League itself back in 2014. They were premiers of the A-League back in 2013. Could they win a trophy this year? I don't know if they have the team to do it. I don't know if they have the depth to do it as well. You look at Sydney's depth. You look at Melbourne Victory's depth. That's why those two teams, I reckon, will be super strong this season. Sam asks, how do you think Mata will do in the A-League? Do you think he'll be like Del Piero and thrive? Or do you think he'll struggle with match fitness, etc.? And unfortunately, be like Nani or Sturridge? Well, I mean, I just want to say, like, obviously I'm not a Wanderers fan, but I hope, and I'm sure a lot of you guys agree, whether you're a Wanderers fan or not, you hope Mata stays fit and has an impact. You obviously have to look at how much football Mata has played over the last couple of years, and he hasn't played much. He hasn't played much. Didn't feature much at all for Vissel Kobe, despite winning the championship with that team. I want to say he does have a good season. We have to manifest that. I hope Mata has a good season. I mean, in that first press conference, he spoke about how he feels good at the moment. We've seen pictures of him training at the Wanderers training ground, and he's been working with the team and everything. So he looks fit. He looks good. Wanderers' first game of the season in just under a month's time, Sydney derby. Does Mata start? Mata this season. I mean, Douglas Costa, he's looking great and probably will be a starting player week in, week out for Sydney as long as he's fit. I don't know if Mata will be a starting player for West Sydney Wanderers. I think Mata might be like that fill that Milos Ninkovic role for West Sydney Wanderers. What Ninkovic did last season was he sort of was that impact player off the bench for something different when they're chasing a game. Needs someone with a bit of X factor. Throw in Milos Ninkovic to try and have an impact. Mata might be that guy. Does he still have the legs to run at 90 minutes? Don't get me wrong, he probably does. Not doubting Mata's quality. But, they might be looking at some of those other guys to do a lot of that leg work. We were talking about the likes of Nicholas Milanovic, Alex Battolado at Western Sydney Wanderers. Hope it works out for him. Blinker says he doesn't look out of shape, to be fair to him. Yeah, he looks good from what we've seen. The people demand griddle. That's right, almost clutch. We're going to have to jump into the griddle in just a moment here. Marcus says Ninko never clicked at Western Sydney Wanderers. Yeah. He was never, obviously never reached the heights of his time at Sydney FC. So, yeah, he didn't necessarily, he wasn't incredible. That's for sure. It's time for griddle, ladies and gentlemen. For those that don't know, we're going to pull this up in just a moment here. Griddle is an A-League player guessing game, and there's like a new game every day. It's made by the lovely folks at Ultimate A-League, and it's a chance for us to test our A-League knowledge, and we're going to do it right here tonight, live on stream. You can see it right here. We've popped it up. So we've got to try and get all 9 tiles correct if we can. So where do we start here? We've got Mariners, which is a good start. We've got my team, Central Coast Mariners. It's good to see. Sydney FC, there you go. Western United and Melbourne Victory. So we've got 4 clubs involved tonight in tonight's griddle. We're looking for players who were younger than 19 on debut and players who have won more than half of their games, which is a tricky one. That is a tricky one. Okay. I think we can do this. Melbourne Victory, 50% plus win percentage. Melbourne Victory were pretty successful when Besart Berisha was there. They won a championship. Should we just go ahead and say Besart Berisha? Should we go ahead and say Besart Berisha? Hey, we got it. Great start. All right. Next up, Western United, 50%, more than 50% win percentage for Western United. You're obviously going to think of the season when they won the championship a couple of years ago. I mean, who were some players who featured heavily for them in that season? Looking at Leah Lacroix. Looking at Jamie Young, maybe. Who else are we looking at? Alexander Prijovic, perhaps. We're going to think of maybe a player who really featured for them in that specific season. Maybe like a Dylan Wenzel-Halls, who didn't necessarily play too many games for them. But Dylan Wenzel-Halls might be a fair guess because he didn't necessarily play heaps of games for them. Let's go Dylan Wenzel-Halls here. Oh, 44. Dang. I'm very curious to see the answers for that one. We'll have a look at that one afterwards. More than 50% win rate for Sydney FC. Again, I think the key here is to try and find players who maybe haven't played that many games and, have just won the games they've been involved in. Sky Blues. Man. I mean, like, this might be a crazy, crazy thing to do, but I almost want to say Alex Wilkinson. But I'm probably not confident enough to say that he's won more than half of his games at Sydney FC. He was obviously there for many years. But is there a player that we can think of that would have won most of their games with Sydney FC? Oh, Wilco coming in clutch, 57.92%. There you go. Never doubt Wilco. Players who were under the age of 19 on their debut for Sydney FC. For Sydney FC, I mean, Mitch Glasson, right? He's a more recent one. Surely Glasson was like only 18. They got 17 on his debut. There we go. On the bench tonight for Sydney FC, Mitch Glasson. Western United. Hayden Matthews, says Eric. Yeah, it would have worked too. Hey. Western United, under 18 on debut. Had a few young guys debut last season. They were pretty young. Like Wallity, maybe? I don't know how old he exactly is. Probably maybe 18? 20! Oh, dang. Close. We're struggling on Western United tonight, aren't we? Under the age of 19 and a debut for Melbourne Victory. Ooh. Oh, there'd be heaps here. Who's a youngster that would have played for... let's go like Leighton Brooks. Maybe like a Leighton Brooks, perhaps? Maybe. 19. Oh, dude, so close. All right. The teams are coming back onto the pitch here for the second half. So let's wrap it up here with the Mariners. Player who has played for both Sydney and Central Coast Mariners. He's on the field tonight for the Sky Blues, Anthony Caceres. Player has played for both Western United and Central Coast Mariners. Was only at Mariners for a few months. Michael Roos. Melbourne Victory, Central Coast Mariners. Let's go for a throwback here. Tom Pondolyak, one of the great players. One of the great Hyundai men, if you like. Damn it, dude. I want to check that middle one. Not many players there, hey. Not many. That's a tricky one. Real tricky one, that middle one. That's Griddle for today, folks. Troyes has made the same mistake with Wenzel-Halls in the middle. Sebastian Pasquale for Melbourne, under 19. Yeah, they're probably heaps. I mean, yeah, look at all the ones I missed there. Lee Broxham, there you go. Lee Broxham making his debut for Sydney. Isn't that incredible? What a legend of the A-League, Lee Broxham. So, second half is about to kick off, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the live watch-along tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. So great to see you here in the live chat, joining the conversation. We're all about creating a friendly community of like-minded football fans here. Passionate about growing the A-League, passionate about growing football in Australia. And tonight, we are all, regardless of who you're back for in the A-League, we're all barracking for Sydney FC. We all want the I said this the other night during our Mariners stream. I think we're all back the Aussie teams when they're playing in Asian club competitions. We want them to do well. Which feels weird to say, considering Sydney FC are my bitter rivals. But it's true. True. I do want to see Sydney FC do well. I do. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Douglas Costa has obviously been the focus tonight, and he's been playing very well. Assist for the second goal. Involved in the build-up for the first goal as well. And we are underway in the second half down at Cogra tonight. Shame that I'm not sure what the reason is. If anyone knows, actually, if anyone has an inside scoop, let us know. I'm not sure what the reason is why Sydney FC aren't playing these games at Allianz Stadium. Is it a booking situation? Who knows? All the A-League games being played at Allianz Stadium. The A-League men's games, that is. But all of their group stage games being played at Jubilee Stadium. Anas Wahim in behind. Goes out of play for a corner. You can watch this game on 10 Play if you're not tuning in yet. Chuckmate asks, are Jets or Sydney your biggest rivals? Are Jets or Sydney Mariners' biggest rivals? I think that's an easy one. I think it is Jets. It is Newcastle Jets. I think Sydney is sort of like the big brothers. You know, they're definitely rivals of Mariners, but they're sort of the big brothers of... Oh my goodness, so close to goal number 3, Ryan Grant. What a chance. I think Mariners' biggest rivals is Newcastle Jets. There's just a bigger rivalry there. And Sydney FC is sort of the big brothers, if you like. Obviously, Sydney FC's biggest rivals. I mean, this is up for debate. We'd love to get your guys' thoughts, actually. Who would you say Sydney FC's biggest rivals? It's got to be Wanderers, right? There's probably some people who would argue that Melbourne Victory are maybe Sydney FC's biggest rivals. But it's probably Wanderers, right? So, in that sense, Sydney FC have Wanderers. Mariners have Jets. Patrick Lamala has a header that goes wide. Don't get me wrong. There's still definitely a healthy rivalry between Sydney FC and Central Coast Mariners. Been going on since the league's inception. Of course, we shouldn't forget Central Coast Mariners and Sydney FC played in the first ever A-League men's grand final all the way back in 2006 when I was just how old was I back then? A long time ago now. I was a wee lad. Let's just say that. Eric says, I think it's Wanderers. Yeah, it's definitely Wanderers. Blinker says Sydney's biggest rival is Victory. Troy says Wanderers. Alligator says Wanderers. Truckmate says our biggest rivals are West and Sydney Wanderers for sure, but because we're so big, half the A-League argue that we're their rivals. Yeah, I think like Sydney did that to themselves by being really successful. Well, they've been successful for a long time now in the A-League, to be fair. But look, winning the first championship, that certainly had an impact. But yeah. I mean, hopefully we do get to the stage sometime in the future where every team has a sort of a direct rival. I mean, Perth Glory have the distance derby. But, is that now going to be with Auckland? Is it going to be with Wellington? Is it just going to be with both? That's a rivalry. Adelaide have a rivalry with Melbourne Victory. That's always a great game to watch. And obviously very much looking forward to the semi-finals weekend between these two teams. I can tell you right now, that's our next live watch-along as well. Make sure to join us this weekend as Melbourne Victory host Adelaide United in the Australia Cup semi-finals. Would love to see you for the live watch-along there as well. Always great to have everyone's insight here in the chat. Ooh, rip to the turf there. That's certainly a foul by Anas Wahim. Ooh, yellow card. Yellow card. First yellow card for a Sydney player, I believe. Anas Wahim. Okay. Alligator says the reason they aren't playing at Allianz, I think, is because of the rugby finals that are at Allianz this Saturday. AC2 doesn't sell enough tickets. I mean, that is true. There generally aren't as many tickets sold for these games. I know that being seeing the Mariners in the competition last season. And obviously that's going to be the case when all these games are obviously played like on midweek. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I believe all the games for Sydney FC in this comp are on Thursdays. Mariners, a lot of their Asian Champions League games are on Tuesdays, I believe. Long ball for Lolly, who has that on the right. Joe Lolly, switch of play to Costa. Douglas Costa. We'll see how long he plays tonight, whether he's on the pitch for the full 90. Probably expect him to get a break. Maybe at least an hour for Douglas Costa tonight, who's been very good on his Sky Blues debut. Eric says, Sydney FC get an average of 12,000 a game at Allianz. Yep, it's good, isn't it? It's one of the, I think wasn't it last season the best average in the competition? I think it was. Hopefully those crowds continue to grow this season. Sydney FC lead 2-0, 5 minutes into the second half. They've certainly controlled this game and will be eager to add to the scoreline here. Chuck says it's stupid that the game is played on a Thursday night. We have lives to attend to. It's very hard to support Sydney when it's not weekend fixtures. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's not much they can do, hey? It's just the way of things, considering that everyone has to play their league games on the week. That's going to be an interesting factor for the season for both Mariners and Sydney, juggling these midweek fixtures, especially considering that some of these away days, like Sydney FC, will obviously be travelling to Hong Kong and Japan and the Philippines for these away matches. Central Coast Mariners have got a few away trips to China and Japan. So some long plane trips for these A-League teams midweek. Remember, Central Coast Mariners had the AC Cup final just prior to the first leg of the semi-final at the end of last season against Sydney. The AFC Cup final, from memory, was on like a Monday morning a few months back. Over in... Dude, where did they play it again? Somewhere in the Middle East. I've completely forgot where Mariners played the AC Cup final. Somewhere in the Middle East. And a few days later, they had to be back in Sydney for a crucial semi-final, which they ended up winning. Alligators asks, will a New Zealand derby be Wellington v Auckland be as heated as the Sydney derby? I hope so. Eric says, probably not, because Auckland have barely got any supporters and they are new. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how Auckland goes showing up. And that's one of the things I'm really excited about for this new season. Obviously just Auckland FC in general. You know, what are they going to do in the A-League this year? Are they going to be a real threat in terms of contesting for finals? What's the supporter base going to look like? Because, I mean, it's obviously a fair point, Eric. You look, they're a brand new club, as we know. But Auckland, as a city, I mean, can someone look up the population of Auckland? It is a big city. There's probably a couple million people there. I don't know off the top of my head. Someone look up the population of Auckland. If they can get the people of Auckland behind this team, that'd be great. And I reckon the derby, the rivalry between Auckland and Wellington, could certainly be a heated one, a really enjoyable one. Alligator says 1.47 million people. There you go. That's a great size, isn't it? That'd be about like the same as like Brisbane or something, or Brisbane might have more than that. I don't know. But there you go. I mean, we look back to obviously this is an outlier, I guess you could probably say, but Western Sydney Wanderers' first year in the A-League, just that incredible season. The support the Wanderers got in their first campaign was incredible. Oh, great play, Sydney FC. They're in again. And Anas Wahim makes it 3 for Sydney. Once again, it is Douglas Costa on the build-up, but the Sky Blues there. What play. What fantastic football. Douglas Costa again. Justin says that was a nice goal. Alligator says easy goal. On the replay, look at that pass from Costa into the feet of Klamala. Really, really smart play there from Patrick Klamala to just deflect it into the path of Wahim, who scores goal number 2 for him tonight. 3 for Sydney. But what a debut for Douglas Costa, who has been involved in all 3 goals. Sydney FC are running away with this one now. Wow. Wowee. Redmayne is out with concussion tonight. Andrew Redmayne out with concussion. Hopefully he's all right, but it's allowed Harrison Devonish Mears to make his Sydney FC debut in goals tonight. Has made one important save in the first half in this game. Douglas Costa, though. Wow. 3 goals, and he's been involved in all 3. He's made the incisive passes for the first and second goals. Delightful cross. Sorry, the first and third goal. Delightful cross for the second goal. Here he is on the ball. Great flick over the top for Courtney Perkins, who's wiped out of it. The referee letting a lot of things go in this game, eh? Brace for Waheem, says Eric. That's right. Anas Waheem. Stealing the spotlight now, isn't he? 2 goals for the Moroccan midfielder. He scored as well in the Australia Cup round of 32. So that's already 3 goals in 2 games for Sydney FC. For Anas Waheem. Playing this number 10 position. Attacking midfielder. All these Sydney FC attacking players have looked very, very good tonight. Still just under a month away until the Gaelic season kicks off. How's the score in the other game? As we know, the 2 other teams in Sydney FC's group playing at the moment, Sanfrecce Hiroshima of Japan. They are playing Kaya FC, Iloilo of the Philippines. Sky Blues are well and truly in cruise control now. 3-0 lead. Not too surprising. They were expected to win this game at home. But this scoreline, this performance, I'm sure will please Coach Ufuk Talay. Heading into his second season in charge of Sydney. His first full season in charge. Patrick Klamala in behind now. Offside flag is up. Sydney FC's next game is on Thursday, the 3rd of October. That's away to Philippine side KFC. Looks like Sanfrecce Hiroshima currently leading Kaya 2-0. I think the expectation is that both Sydney and Sanfrecce Hiroshima should be the 2 teams to get through from this group. And then Sydney FC will have to navigate the knockout rounds. Central Coast Mariners were able to go all the way through and lift the trophy of this tournament last season. Ryan Grant sprinting down the right. Won't get to that one. Eric says, well, at least Lolly's back. Yep, great for Sydney FC fans to see Lolly back. He picked up an injury late last season in that elimination final win against MacArthur. John, hello John in the chat. John says, Auckland is the biggest city by population in Australia or New Zealand that did not have an A-League team already. Plus, they have a perfectly good rectangular stadium in Go Media Stadium. The business case for their expansion is sound. Perfectly put there, John. Perfectly put. As you say that. That's why I brought up the population, because I thought, I didn't know it off the top of my head, but yeah, the population size, and that's a great point there. They've got the stadium. You know, a lot of people want to see expansion in Tasmania. They don't really have a rectangular stadium to play football at. Yeah, it would have to be at ovals, which is just simply not ideal. It's not ideal on a broadcast. It's not ideal for fans. It's not really ideal for anyone. So I'm very happy about Auckland joining the competition this season. Very, very excited to see how they go. Auckland FC kick off their competition on the Saturday of the opening weekend at home to Brisbane Roar. Round 3 is the first New Zealand rivalry, and that will be in Wellington. Cross from Waheem. From the corner. Grant. Oh, that's got to be a foul. It has to be a foul on Ryan Grant. Yep, it is. That was so clear. That was the easiest call. It's going to be a penalty here for Sydney FC. The referee's pretty adamant. The referee's shown a yellow card. I mean, that's... What's the defender thinking there? What are they thinking? I mean, it's borderline a rugby tackle on Ryan Grant. Right in front of goal. I mean, there's probably I don't know if I'm out of line saying that there's probably a case for a red card there. That is the most blatant foul I've ever seen. CP Long, defender for Eastern, has basically rugby tackled Ryan Grant as he's about to score. It's a yellow card. And Patrick Klimala is stepping up. It's not Douglas Costa. Patrick Klimala, the Polish striker. Will Costa takes his edits. It is Klimala indeed. Patrick Klimala. Oh, it's saved. Oh, it's saved. Klimala's denied. Huge save. The penalty wasn't awful. The penalty wasn't that bad. Great save from the keeper. Great save. Down to the left. Here's the replay. That's not a bad penalty, is it? Eric says, how is he missed? Save indeed, Alligators. I mean, he's gone low to the right. Oh, the goalkeeper with a backflip as he's collided with one of his defenders. He's all good by the looks of things. That could have ended badly. Long ball here for Eastern. Devon Ishmears does well to come out and get to that. Wow. Eric says that's 2 easy chances missed by Klimala. Why didn't Douglas Costa take it? Dude, I mean, that was the chance for Douglas Costa to give him his first goal. Wow. Klimala, given the opportunity. Again, it wasn't a bad penalty, eh? It wasn't too dissimilar to Mikael Docker's penalty for Mariners 2 nights ago. Sort of hard, low to the right. Justin says, I don't like it when a striker stops and goes during the pen. Yep. I know what you mean. It's sort of, yeah. Adds a bit of anxiety to it, doesn't it? 3-0 though. I mean, they're lucky that they've got such a considerable lead here on the scoreline. Sydney FC. That penalty miss isn't too devastating. But Patrick Klimala, he won't be happy with that. Great chance for him to open his account for Sydney FC. Jolo, they're coming forward. Oh, it's in for an own goal. It's number 4 for Sydney FC. A whipping cross from Joe Lolly is bundled into the net by an Eastern defender. That's goal number 4. Welcome back to the field for Joe Lolly. The Sky Blues, well, they're running away with it now. Joe Lolly, weak right foot delivery. And I tell you what, that's a terrific own goal. The diving header. That is an incredible own goal. Tricky one for the goalie to stop. It was flying in at the goal. Wow, dude. Nice header, says Justin. It was, wasn't it? It was a delightful header. Wow. 4-0. Moments after Klimala missed the penalty. Own goal in the 64th minute here. Still plenty of football to play here. But it's been a dominant performance. And now a dominant scoreline here for Sydney FC. Hayden Matthews has just come from the field being treated at the moment. Hopefully nothing too serious for the defender. Surely game set now. That's right, Eric Lee. Game set match for Sydney FC. Surely. This is a great start for Sydney FC in the Asian Champions League 2. Looks like Hayden Matthews just has a bit of an issue, maybe with a nosebleed. All right. Almost clutch. Yeah, that's right. That's a terrific own goal. Quote of the match. That's right. I mean, it was, wasn't it? I mean, the diving header, flying. I mean, if Patrick Klamala had scored that header, that would have been phenomenal. But I mean, painfully unlucky from an Eastern point of view. You know what I just realised? Imagine if it wasn't Sydney FC in this game, it was Western United, and it would be Western versus Eastern. Oh my goodness. Ooh, heavy. That's a heavy challenge. Anas Wahim. He's already booked. Dude, Anas Wahim's already booked. There's no need for that. And here we go. Debut here for Alex Popovic. He's coming onto the field as we speak. Hayden Matthews, not going to be risked. Change for Sydney FC. This was the exciting move that Sydney FC announced just a couple of days ago. Late signing in the window. On loan, former Adelaide defender, young Aussie defender, Alexander Popovic is on for Sydney FC, replacing Hayden Matthews at the back. For a Sydney FC debut, Popovic with a good defensive header already. Coming back in. No, not too far away from Devon Ishmears' goal. Strike was drilled low and hard and just to the right. Yeah, Western versus Eastern. That's right. Yeah, can you imagine? So there you go. I mean, Matthews, I mean, it looks like it's just an issue with a nosebleed because he's got the, I don't know what you call that, a thing stuffed up his nose to halt the nosebleed. But the Sky Blues coaching staff have decided to take him off. I guess you know, they're winning 4-0, you know. They can afford to take some key players off if they want here, Sydney FC. And Alex Popovic, great pickup for Sydney. Oh, Devon Ishmears almost caught in it. And that's going to be a goal kick. But Harrison Devon Ishmears, just a nervy moment there for the Sydney's new goalkeeper. Looks like Max Burgess might be preparing to come on here. Max Burgess, very experienced A-League midfielder. Can play in a forward position as well. Klamala switches out wide to Lolly. Joe Lolly from the right, cutting in. He'll shoot here. Oh, no, the pass. Ryan Grant. Out for a corner. Sydney FC have well and truly been racking up corners in this game, haven't they? Eric says, just wish we could get the same result against Wanderers. I mean, wouldn't that be a statement? Round one, that'd be huge. That'd be dramatic for sure. A-League Edit says, I wonder if Tasmania will ever get a team to join the A-League. Maybe not enough people or money, but they would have to travel a lot as this corner goes out of play for Sydney. It'd be great to see one day. I think we will probably get it eventually in the future. Yeah, man. Douglas Costa's coming off, everyone. 68 minutes in a Sydney FC shirt. A very, very impressive debut for the Brazilian winger who comes from the pitch. A fantastic shift. He was involved in all 3 goals. Orchestrator for the first and third goal. Assist with that second goal. Eric's not happy about it. Because Eric just said, I just want to see a Douglas Costa goal. I mean, he got everything but a goal, to be fair. Very much involved. So despite not getting on the score sheet tonight, great performance from Douglas Costa. His first appearance for Sydney FC. So Max Burgess is on. Max Burgess. Player who I've always been a big fan of, Max Burgess. I think he's very good. A couple of young players, well, a handful of young players on the bench here for Sydney FC who could make an appearance with 20 minutes to go. Got Segicic there as well. Segicic, great to see him back. And here we go. Look at the reception that Costa is receiving from the Cove, the Sydney FC faithful. Great to see. Great to see. Relics. G'day, Relics in the chat. Fortmob has Costa at 8.2 tonight. Yep. Not surprised. He's been great. Very, very good. Almost Clutch says, I hate how good Costa looked. Well, yeah, if you're a fan of another A-League team, you're going to be a little bit worried. You're going to be a little bit nervous because Douglas Costa, well, great start to life at Sydney FC. He could be set for a huge A-League season. And I tell you what, I don't want to get too carried away. This is his first game in Australia. But if he can stay fit, you could probably throw him in the Johnny Warren medal conversation. Here's Sydney in behind again. Klamala with a strike. Burgess following up. Oh, it's gone in. It is number 5. Did it go out of play? No, I think it's a goal. Wow, dude. Is it a goal? Yes, it is. They're celebrating. I mean, it looked like it almost sailed out of play. Incredibly, Max Burgess keeps it in. And I think that's another own goal, isn't it? Klamala involved, Waheem involved, Burgess keeping it in. Yep, and that's bounced straight in. That's another own goal. 5 goals for Sydney FC. This is impressive now. I mean, just questionable defending from Eastern. I mean, it's really interesting too, considering that Eastern were defending so well in that first half. The opening half an hour, they were very strong. They were compact. They were disciplined. But second half, they are well and truly starting to fall apart here. Here's Joe Lolly on the attack. Through for Klamala. The offside flag is up. Ball does go in. Offside flag is up. Not for the first time tonight on Patrick Klamala. Eric says Burgess is pretty good, not going to lie, but nowhere near Costa. Intellectual says, feel bad for Eastern Sports Club. 5 goals conceded now for the team from Hong Kong. Sanfrecce Hiroshima leading against Kaya FC. So it looks like in this group stage that the key matchup might be the Sydney FC Sanfrecce Hiroshima game in terms of who tops the group between those two teams. Because those two teams look like the favourites already. Ooh, maybe a chance here for Eastern. That's a crucial header from Joel King. Nice play. Give and go. And it's come unstuck in the middle. More defending for Sydney as Eastern come down the left. Chasing a goal. Cross is swung in. Headed away by Courtney Perkins. Given away. Sky Blues on the counter-attack. Here we go. Look at Klamala. Oh, great play. Great pace from Klamala. That was really, really good. And he's just disappointed that he didn't get a shorter option from that pass. But I tell you what, that burst of pace from Klamala, that showed us that he's certainly got the legs. Certainly got the legs. Marcus says 3-0 to Sanfrecce Hiroshima. There we go. There we go. Wow. Thanks for tuning in tonight, Eric. Person 1201 in the chat, g'day, says, asks, or says, hey, Lockie, do you think Australia will automatically qualify to the World Cup from the current round? It's very early on in qualification for this round. I think there's still a chance, but we need to win against China in the next game. And the Japan away is going to be so tricky. I mean, we're going to try and get a draw from that game, I think. If we can get a draw from that game, that would be huge, I think. So I'm going to say yes still, but the next couple of games are crucial, I think, for the Socceroos, that's for sure. 12th corner of the game for Sydney FC here, as Anas Waheem plays in an outswinger. Dangerous ball too. Sky Blues have looked really, really dangerous on the set pieces tonight, haven't they? The corners especially. Sydney Intellectual says Costa is going to tear up the A-League, like how Sturridge should have. Yeah, we just want to forget about that, don't we? Oh, it was a real shame for everyone involved. Daniel Sturridge just struggled with injuries. Nani, obviously, with an injury that forced him out of the season early on for Melbourne Victory a couple of years ago. So, we're fingers crossed that Douglas Costa does stay fit. And, it looks like he might well tear it up for Sydney FC this season. Easton down the left. Cross comes in over everyone, though. It'll be regathered, and Sydney FC continuing to defend. Had a play go down here. Out wide here, Easton, and the play will be stopped by the looks of things. No, maybe not. Sydney can go on the counter. Courtney Perkins goes long. Interesting how Patrick Lamal has been pulling wide a little bit, looking for these switches of play. And Sydney. Oh, well, right at the death here, still pressing. Well, what's going on here? Play's been stopped. Sydney FC were about to go away and score a goal. The play's been stopped for this player who's down on the pitch for Eastern SC. That was a bizarre one. Not long to go in this game. Douglas Costa put in a fantastic shift, involved in three of the goals. The last 2 goals have been own goals. Great night tonight for Sydney FC. You fell asleep and missed Griddle. Oh no, I've closed the screen, unfortunately. I've closed my Griddle window. But we didn't do too well. But I guess you could rewind the stream if you did want to catch that Griddle results. Hello to Matt in the chat. Says, come on, Sydney FC. Lockie TV Show also said, looking at Sydney FC's list, I think they're going to be a very strong side. Very tough to beat. Yep. Yeah, this is a team that you look at the team on paper and it's strong. And the new signings have been good tonight, man. Anis Wahim with a couple goals tonight. Leo Senna's been solid in midfield. Joe Lolly's looked very lively on his return. There's a lot to be happy about if you're a Sydney FC fan, that's for sure. Alligators asks, Lockie, have you ever done a setup tour? Because I always wonder how you set up your streams and make videos. Might help me if I ever decide to follow your path. Well, my setup is constantly changing. I'm setting up in different areas. Whoops. The slip there from Eastern FC, and Max Burgess could be away here. I've got a few different rooms that I sort of set up in. So my setup is generally very straightforward. I operate off a MacBook Pro. And honestly, my lighting is nothing fancy. I just use like a few lamps. I try to film in the daytime so I can use like the window. So it really is nothing fancy. Definitely keen to upgrade the setup over time. 5-0 for the Sky Blues. 12 minutes to go. Best YouTuber says, how good does Sydney FC look? Yeah, they've been great. Very impressive indeed. The right back for Eastern has gone down again and surely have to make the sub here. Looks like they will. Sydney FC still have, I believe, one more window of subs remaining. Considering the scoreline, you'd imagine they'd utilise this opportunity to throw on a bunch of young players. Give them an opportunity. The depth as well of Sydney FC is looking pretty good too, isn't it? I mean, they were able to ring Burgess on, decent option off the bench. Corey Holman's on the bench tonight. Adrian Segacic is a good option as well. Obviously, Jaden Kaczarski. I mean, what's happening with Patrick Wood at the moment? Where's Paddy Wood? Is he still at the club? Plenty of promising, talented young players in this Sydney FC squad who could have big seasons as well. Person 1201 asks, is it frustrating as a Central Coast Mariners fan when your best players leave nearly every year? Well, yeah, it's disappointing, but it's not surprising just because, the club themselves have made this clear that, that's the way that Mariners run. That's how they become a profitable business, I guess, is by producing these players and selling them on for transfer fees. And it's been working for us, It's been working at Central Coast Mariners. Last season, we had some fantastic players who've departed. Josh Nisbet, Ballard, Farrell, all departing the club. Some of them not for fees, obviously, but Jacob Farrell, I'm pretty sure we got a fee. So it is obviously disappointing to lose crucial players, but we got to trust that the recruitment is going to be able to replace those quality players. We've done a pretty good job in terms of recruitment over the last few years at Mariners. Bessie Jupiter says Sydney's 9 has been impressive. Keen to see how he goes in the actual season. Yep, Patrick Klimala, Polish striker, on debut tonight. Still on the field with 10 minutes to go. He's been good. Very lively. Obviously missed from the penalty spot, but has come very close to getting his goal. Here comes Leo Senna. Great through ball for Waheem, who's on a hat-trick. Cleared away. Caceres shooting and going wide. FC25 comes out for me in 20 minutes. Keenaz says best YouTuber. There you go. Lockie TV Show says, hey, Lockie, I am coming up from Melbourne on New Year's night for the Central Coast Mariners City doubleheader. Hopefully I can get to meet you. Love it. Lockie TV Show. Is it your first time on the Central Coast? You're going to love it. Another change here for Sydney FC. Corey Holman is on to the field. Corey Holman wearing the new number 6 this season for Sydney FC. Coming off is Leo Senna, I believe. Or was it Anas Waheem? I think it may have been Waheem. Correct. Great performance for Anas Waheem. Almost got his hat-trick. Almost. Bouncing ball here. Oh, it's going to be a foul. Kamala committing the foul. Updated lineup here for Sydney FC. Surprised they didn't try to make a few more substitutions there at the end. That was their last window, I believe, wasn't it? They brought on Popovic. They brought on Burgess. And now Corey Holman on for the final few moments. That'll push Caceres a bit further up the field. Corey Holman was pretty integral for Sydney FC last season. He played a lot of football in the heart of midfields alongside Luke Bratton. Leo Senna playing sort of that Luke Bratton role has looked good tonight. Seen plenty of the ball. Here he is. Does well to get it forward. Caceres poking through. Looking for Klimala, who's chasing that goal. Chip over the keeper, but it's gone wide. And yet again, the offside flag is up. Maybe this is something Klimala maybe has to work on. Because that's at least 3 offside flags that Klimala's received in this game. He was pretty clearly offside too there. Just needed to time that run a little bit better there, Patrick Klimala. But yeah, as you guys were saying, he's looked good. He's looked good. Sky Blues, next game in the Asian Champions League 2 is away to Kaya FC, team from the Philippines, on Thursday, October 3rd. We'll try to do as many watch-alongs as we can for Sydney FC's game through the Asian Champions League 2. And of course, we'll be doing as many watch-alongs as possible for the Mariners away games, at least, in the Asian Champions League Elite. Of course, the Mariners home games I will be at. So unable to do watch along. I did cross my mind. Obviously, it would be like logistically impossible. But imagine doing like a live stream, like a live watch along from the stadium, like in your seat. It just wouldn't work, obviously. But yeah, man. Joe Lolly still going tonight, still running hard. Great performance from Joe Lolly. He's been fantastic. Returning from injury. Great to see if you're a Sydney FC fan. The give and go with Burgess. Comes unstuck. Hello, Josh in the chat. Good to see you here. Next live streams this weekend. Lockie TV show. We are going to be live for the Australia Cup semi-finals this weekend. So this Saturday night, join us for Melbourne Victory, Adelaide United. Watch along. Great cross here for Sydney FC. And what a chance. Header for Joe Lolly just over the bar. Great chance. Joshy says home ground advantage clear in this game, to say the least. Yeah, man. Oh, I reckon even if Sydney FC were away in this tie, they'd probably get a solid win. They've just been the better team. There's more quality. Eastern SC. Again, dude, want to admire Eastern's defensive display in the opening half an hour. Pretty hard to break down. But Sydney FC were pressing. They've been pressing since kickoff. Lockie says, hopefully we could see an NPL team in the final for the Australia Cup. South Melbourne, can they do it? If they can defeat Macarthur FC in the semis this Sunday, they will become just the second ever team to qualify for the Australia Cup final. Obviously, Sydney United 58 did it back in 2022. Sky Blues looking for number 6. A lot of these passes seem to be directed towards Patrick Klimala, as if like they want him to get his goal, which is nice to see. They want to give him his chance. Sydney FC cruising here. Not too much speed with the passes. It's pretty relaxed for them at the moment. No Sawyer, that's right. Yeah, no Sawyer this weekend. Cup tied. And I was obviously signed with Macarthur FC. Lolly, edge of the box. Ooh, coming up for Courtney Perkins, whose cross deflects off a defender for a corner. Joshy says South Melbourne Victory Grand Final, hopefully. I mean, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it? That'd be an entertaining one, I'm sure. The top team from NPL Victoria taking on the biggest team in Victoria and Melbourne Victory. Joel King. Leo Senna. Caceres. The passing play from Sydney FC, especially around the final third, has been great. Very, very impressive tonight. They've been linking up very, very well. Corey Holman's shot goes over the bar from range. Adelaide versus Macarthur. Yeah, we could get that too, hey. And that would be a tricky one to pick. I'll tell you what, if it was Adelaide Macarthur. Oh, what would happen venue-wise? Yeah, I'm not sure, hey. I'm not sure. We'll see. I think it'd be cool if Macarthur got to host. If Macarthur got to host at, Campbelltown Stadium, that'd be cool. That'd be a big occasion for Macarthur. And I reckon if they did get through and got to host the final, I think that'd be awesome. I hope they do get to host at Campbelltown, and I hope they don't move it to Combank or something. Surely they would. Surely they'd let them have it at Combank. Sky Blues. 1 minute left, regular time. We've had a few stoppages in the second half, but not too many. Maybe 3 or 4 minutes of added time here. We can probably expect. Lolly still floating around the pitch. Really interesting seeing this role for Joe Lolly. A little bit different to last year. Joe Lolly, predominantly last year, the last couple of years for Sydney, is like just sort of stuck on that right wing. But he's been given this free, him and Douglas Costa, given this free role to drift around the front line, drop deep at times. And it's been those fullback. Well, Courtney Perkins has really been that left fullback for Sydney tonight. Ryan Grant on the right have sort of been the guys out wide on the flanks. Three minutes added on. Australia Cup semi-finals this weekend. Melbourne Victory, Adelaide United Saturday night. South Melbourne MacArthur FC Sunday night. And then there's a little break. No games after that until the next round of Asian Champions League games. Central Coast Mariners hosting Buriram United on Tuesday, October 1. Sydney FC away to Kaya FC on Thursday, October 3. Australia Cup final is scheduled for Saturday, October 5. And then the A-League men's campaign set to kick off Friday, October 18. Central Coast Mariners hosting Melbourne Victory in the season opener, a rematch of last season's grand final. Of course, I will be at that game. Very much looking forward to that one. Mariners hosting Victory. Victory looking for revenge. Kansas Sydney, find number 6. They've been so impressive tonight. Douglas Costa, fantastic on debut. Anas Wahim, 2 goals for Sydney tonight. Ryan Grant heading it back. Joe Lolly's been awesome. His shot's blocked away for a corner. Klamala's worked hard up top. Just doesn't have the goal yet. No worries, Joshy and Edits. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate all of you guys joining us for tonight's live stream. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out. And join us this weekend for our Australia Cup semi-final watch-alongs as Leo Senna has a hit. And I tell you what, that's a very good save. Leo Senna. Senna's been very good tonight in defensive midfield. Done a lot of the dirty work for Sydney. And a long-range effort. Well, that was a great save. That was going in. That was going in. Huge save. Sky Blues with yet another corner. Burgess. Well, the reverse pass didn't find anyone. Huge win tonight for Sydney FC. 5-0 against Eastern SC. Very, very pleasing performance and result if you're a Sydney FC fan. Jimbo's going to be happy about it. Jimbo says, good win, Sydney FC. 5-0. Couple opportunities for Eastern throughout the match. Especially in that first half on the counter-attack. Eastern had a good chance, but Sky Blues, well, they've dominated possession. They've dominated the opportunities. Could well have been more as well. Klamala missing from the penalty spot earlier on in the game. But so many positives to take away from this game. Sydney FC, very optimistic. Heading into their next game against Kai FC in a couple weeks' time. But for tonight, that's full time. Sydney FC 5, Eastern SC 0. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in for tonight's watch-along. Join us on the weekend for our Australia Cup semi-final live streams. Our watch-alongs happening right here Saturday night. Very excited for the original rivalry coming up next. Saturday night, Melbourne Victory, Adelaide United. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. If you're playing AFC on early access, enjoy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.